Will Star Citizen ever release, or is it doomed to stay in this alpha state for all eternity? Let's talk about that. This video is brought to you by Rich Wallet. Rich is redefining the wallet with their compact wallets made from premium materials. Their wallets are easily half the size of traditional wallets, but despite that, they can still hold up to a 12 card and has a money clip on the side. Want to carry coins or key? No problems. Rich got you covered with their optional cavity tray. All their wallets also come with RFID blocking to prevent digital theft. So check out Rich Wallet on rich.com/D2EA and use offer code D2EA to get 10% off. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Star Citizen. Today we're going to talk about the future of the game and whether this game is ever going to release. I'm going to try to keep this video as factual and as objective as I can. And then toward the end of the video, I'm going to give you my own analysis and my own opinions about it. But let's start by looking at the hard facts. In October 2018, Chris Roberts went on stage to that year's CitizenCon and presented a talk he called The Road to Release. In that talk, he laid out 12 pillars that needed to be fulfilled for this game to be released. And the 12 pillars are as follows: ship interiors, spaceship combat, 16-point floating positions, earning money / inventory persistency, first and third person unified, procedural generation planet tech, location persistency, object container streaming, ship purchase and rental, orcs in-game, full persistency, and server meshing. Of those, we already got the majority of them. We got the ship interiors, we got the spaceship combat, the 64-bit floating point precision. Got that running too. We can earn money and the inventory is persistent. Then you have the first and third person unified. That means that a lot of FPS games will do this when you, for instance, run around with a gun and you fire. The bullets will actually come out of like the camera, right, which is at the head of the character. And they didn't want that to happen as they could give some weird effects when you were looking at a person from a third person perspective. So in order to give a more seamless experience, they wanted to make sure that the same model and the same functionality was used, regardless of whether a person or a character was viewed from first person or from third person. We got that too, and that is working. The next part was the planetary generation. That is there too. Planets are being generated, they are procedurally being generated, and it is something that they are going to be using in some of the upcoming, or all the upcoming systems when they're beginning to add those into the game as well. Location persistency is basically just you log out and then when you log in you're in the same spot. I'm gonna color this yellow because while it's technically there in the game now, it's a bit iffy and it needs a bit of work. Yeah, you can log out. If you log out in a city, you're gonna spawn on a bed in that city, and you can also log out in beds inside starships, and then sometimes you are gonna spawn inside that starship. Not every time. So I'm gonna color it yellow because it needs a bit of work, but it's there and it works sometimes. Then you have the object container streaming. This is just a tech that is used to stream objects in game, so that anything from like a chair to a bar to a planet to a city to whatever, anything in the game that needs to be moved into the game and moved out of the game when it's not needed anymore. That tech is there. However, I'm gonna color this yellow too because in the recent patches they have been doing work on it, so it's clearly still something that they are trying to iron out and trying to fix up. Then we have the ship purchase and rental. Got that. Plenty of ships to buy in game, plenty of ships to rent in game as well, all for in-game currency. That's definitely a green. Orcs or organizations in game is definitely red. We have organizations, but they only exist on the homepage. They are not in-game things yet, so it's just a forum tag that you get. They are eventually gonna be in-game, but for now they are just a homepage thing. And then the last two, which are really big items, which is full persistency and server meshing. Now the full persistency, or the item caching, means that if you go into a moon or a planet and you put a gun and you lay it down under a tree and you then go away and come back 2 weeks later, unless someone else found it and picked it up, that gun should still be there. We don't have that yet. If you drop a gun and log out, the gun will eventually disappear. And they are working on this at the moment. They have talked a lot about it. They've talked about how they're going to do the cleaning up so that the server or the game doesn't get cluttered with people piling up trash everywhere. Like they have the various methods they're going to use to automatically remove like trash items while keeping more valuable items maybe for longer. I don't know. But at least that is being worked on, but it is still not in game, and therefore that will have to be read. And then you have the server meshing. The way the game works right now is you log in and you have one server. That server runs the entire system you are in. In the future, when server meshing becomes fully fleshed out, the plan is that you can have different servers that can be allocated to different areas. So if you have a starport that is specifically very busy that day, then you can have one dedicated server just running that starport, or just running like that planet, or just running that moon. Or if you have systems where that's basically you are the only person in the entire system, well, just you have one server running that system. But that of course means that you're gonna have to be able to basically move seamlessly between all these servers as you are moving around the universe. This is also something that's being worked on, but not something that's in the game yet. So these are the hard facts. These are the things that has been done to move the game towards release, and these are the things that are still missing, at least according to CIG, before the game can release. But of course, from here on, it's up to you to make up your mind whether you believe CIG is going to be able to finish this list and eventually release the game. So this is where I'm going to be moving over to my own analysis and my own thoughts about it. But before we do that, I would really like to ask you if you would consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to keep yourself updated with the latest news from both Star Citizen, but also other space games, or want guides, tutorial, this is absolutely the place for you. The subscribe button is right below the video. I would really appreciate it. So the way I see it is CIG is, at some point, likely next year, gonna have this list of items ticked off. And they're gonna be pretty much, at least they're gonna be yellow and maybe have a few bugs there, but the stuff is gonna be there. And as I see it, CIG can go in two directions from that point. Either they can move the goalpost and add a 13th pillar. I don't know if that's gonna happen, obviously, but that is a direction I could see. And if they decide to do that, then I do not think we're going to see a release in the next 4 or 5 years. It's going to be more than that if they begin to add additional things to the pillars that needs to be done for the game to be released. Now the other direction that they can go in is they can say, okay, we got the pillars down, but that doesn't mean the game is ready to release, obviously. I mean, Star Citizen is still plagued by some performance issues, a number of different bugs in the game, and those needs to be ironed out. Performance needs to be optimized, bugs need to be squashed before this game can finally release. I think that could pose a problem. You see, if we look at, for instance, Elite Dangerous and the Odyssey launch, where when Odyssey originally launched, it was underperforming and a buggy mess. And since then, Frontier Developments, the developer of Elite Dangerous, has dedicated pretty much now over a year to almost exclusively do bug fixing and performance optimization of it. And their current roadmap states that they're going to do that for the remainder of this year as well. This means there's going to be more than a year and a half of performance optimization and bug fixing for them to fix up Odyssey, which is, I would say, was in a similar state when launched to what Star Citizen is on a bad day. Now I also know that there are a significant larger number of people actively working on Star Citizen compared to what is and has been working on Elite. So hopefully that means they are going to be squishing those bugs and performance optimizations faster. But there is another problem, and that is funding. You see, Star Citizen relies heavily on crowdfunding, and that means they, in order to keep the show running, they need to have people to go in and they are subscribed, so they pay every month, or they need to go and they need to buy ships or whatever they can buy in the store, buy merchandise, those kind of things to keep that revenue stream coming. Now it's a lot easier to keep a revenue stream like that running if you keep releasing things that generate media attention. So I'm talking new gameplay loops, new ships, those kind of things. As sad as it is, bug fixing and performance optimization is just not very sexy to talk about. It is absolutely necessary, but it's not something that generates a huge amount of media attention. So the question is, if we imagine a world where CIG is done, they've done the 12 pillars, all green, ready to go, All they need to do now is just polish up the game. Do they have the financial buffer? Go in and spend the time and resources to polish up the game. Because I would assume, and this is my own assumption here, and you can agree with that or not, but my assumption is that when they go, if they do change gear and go into bug fixing and performance optimization before launch, that it's going to mean they're going to see a drop in incoming money to the game. Because there's going to be less exciting stuff to talk about, which drives less people into the game. And it's because of that, and it is that worry that a lot of people have when they say that they think the game is just going to stay in alpha forever, because as long as CIG just keeps it here, and they just keep adding new stuff and new things and new ships, they can basically just keep the rolls, or keep the train rolling, and just keep getting the revenue. But as I said, these are my own speculations, these are my own theories. You may agree with them, you may not, but regardless, I would love to hear what you think in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in space.